think that none of you have really got the question that I'm asking here, and that is, what are you going to do about looking at the ACFI funding instrument, the aged care funding instrument, to ensure that the people are being funded for what their needs are, rather than actually keeping them immobile and dependent for us to actually get the funding to be able to support people?
The old hack.
And that's what's happening at the moment.
The old hack program.
David is most probably, as the incumbent.
Beg your pardon?
David, as the incumbent, is more possible to answer
And
that
that's what I
question.
say. So I wanted to know if you, as independent or other parties, if you actually were put into government, what would you be doing to actually look at these issues, and how are you going to support the aged care industry at this point in time? And no one's given me that answer except for David.
As a member of a government, the work I do will be inside my government to actually try and achieve those sorts of outcomes that you mentioned. I can't give you an answer now because I'm not in government and I'm not with my team. I can't give you a definitive answer for that, something specific. But what I can say is that I'm acutely aware of what we need to do, and I think the review will come out with some great ideas or way we need to move forward, and I will champion those 110%. It's just a matter of getting some concrete recommendations that we can work with.
Thank you.
Thanks, Phil. Have a quick back. We promised to be short, even shorter than Phil.
I've run out of microphone.
Run out of juice. We can project. So, David, you'd like to, Phil, Stuart suggested Dave have a quick reply, and then, and also Jeremy.
Sure.
If you'd like to.
Yeah. What I was trying to say about the law of unintended consequences, and perhaps I wasn't clear enough, is that what you said is part of the problem. So yes, we're not funding things in the right way. It's about getting the mechanisms right at the very, very start, so that the flow all the way through the system is efficient and proper. So the kind of issues that Ed was talking about unintended consequences, is what happens. So what I'll be able to do as an independent is work with both sides of government to oppose them and support them when they get it right. Phil's talked about the review that's coming down. I'm not an expert on health policy.
No.
David is. He comes from that section and he's been doing this job for 10 years, so he's an expert on health policy, and I hope he knows more than I do. He does. But what I will be doing is taking back the local findings. This isn't the only one. It's talking about the opioid crisis. It's talking about the lack of aged care staff. You know, we're good at opening buildings and big infrastructure, but we don't have the staff and the soft power behind it to make sure that they all run properly equipped. So that's part of a larger issue that we do need to make sure we get fixed.
I can only put one question here tonight. So.
No, I know. Yeah. So what I'm saying to you is you're absolutely right. I hear your question, and that's part of a broader picture we need to address.
Thanks, Jeremy. I'll just get to David for a minute.
I'll just go to the heart of your question.
Oh, you got the mic back. There you go, mate.
Oh, that's okay. The ACFI instrument, as I said, I've been out of the health portfolio for quite a few months now, but there was a review started of the ACFI, the instrument.
Yeah.
The ACFI is the aged care funding instrument, the formula by which each person gets assessed to what payment that institution gets for them. And the more medications and the more things that you do that are more nursing like, the more you get. But it was getting skewed outcomes. There was a lot of extra money going into, if they could do a good score and work out more points, they got more money. So one sort of funding went exponential, different to the nature of people going into, and that's why there's a review, so you don't get those unintended consequences, where beneficial things get recognition, and also people aren't gaming the system. But the other thing is we are increasing funding by $1 billion every year, and have been, and we have started the Royal Commission because we realised there was a problem in standard. It's high in one but down in other. Like, it should be across the board, and a Royal Commission is a good way of sorting these problems out. Most people get very good care in Australia, but we've got to get a system where we rule out those bad things that you've seen. We've got a new commissioner. We've rolled that into one whole body with the commissioner who has much more investigative powers, and there is a universal bipartisan commitment to get it. The whole aged care situation the My Aged Care portal still needs some work. And I don't know, the clever people that